This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Hello, this is Tom.
Hi, it's Rich, Architectural Builders, returning your call.
Yes, I appreciate your call back, Rich. What I've done, I've taken some pictures of it. The lock assembly that I got in the girl was so nice, trying to help me out to locate the proper one. I'm on a boat. The lock assembly is an old, it's about 35-year-old boat, and the old one is an HE, I think 87. I've got my, let me go back down to my car because I put everything back together again. It seems that
one's plastic, the HE.
This one's yes, this is a plastic one, and I have a bunch of pictures I can send you. That would probably be better than me telling you what the challenge is with it. But I'd almost venture to say that the door thickness is not really thick enough for this type of lock assembly. I love the idea that it's metal, which would be wonderful. As far as the little latch assembly, that's identical to the old one, but the depth when I go to put it in, it's not deep enough. In other words, the thickness of the door, the interior thickness, the width is not. I don't have enough room. And it's crazy. I thought it was going to be perfect. I had a bunch of keys made up for the lock assembly anyway.
So
but anyway,
how thick is the door?
Let me grab my tape measure. I have my ruler here. The door on the outside, thickness of the outside is 1 1/16. The skinny door. The old one worked fine, but I guess if I have to go back to plastic, if I can get it, I would put that in then. The interior gut. Go ahead.
All I want to know is how thick is the door?
The door is 1 1/16, Rich.
Okay. So that lock that you ordered would work on that door thickness.
But what happens, Rich, is that the lock assembly, the lever that comes out, it touches the it can't. It's too thick. In other words, where the location of the top of the lock is, I can't push it in all the way. It touches the lock assembly, the arm assembly. I don't know what you want to call the thing. The thing that comes down and clicks against the other side of the door.
Are you talking about one of the pieces of metal attached to the back side of the interior escutcheon?
Fancy words I don't comprehend here, but
no. There's nothing we can't talk through. So let's define the parts. You've got the exterior escutcheon. Escutcheon is a rectangular plate generally. You've got the interior escutcheon. That's the second part.
Right.
And the third part is the lock body in the edge of the door.
Okay, the lock body at the edge of the door is perfect as far as the old one is concerned. Yeah. The lock assembly where you put the key in, because the key's on the bottom, that's what the old one was. And this one here, the top, the other one is plastic, and that had a big cutout from the manufacturer, I guess, to be able to get into the door. But this one, being metal, attaches it. I should say it touches the that lock assembly that comes out, that piece that you had just mentioned.
But why? When your door is prepped for the plastic version, why did you go to a metal version?
Because it was a couple dollars cheaper, and I'd like to have something last longer, but if I could. But that's the only real reason, Rich, that I went to the metal one. But the plastic one, I've got some pictures. Yeah.
Have you confirmed the prep for the metal version is what you have? Because I'm not convinced that the preparation is identical.
Well, preparation, I mean, this is a 35-year-old boat that had the plastic one in it, the HE87, I guess it is, and that worked out okay. But being plastic, it was broken, so I said, let me see if I can get one in metal. And the girl said, oh, this is one in metal. It's a couple dollars cheaper. I don't care if it was a couple dollars more. But the depth of the top of this piece that pushes in, it touches that the lock assembly that comes out, the lock body.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that the templating for the plastic lock assembly is identical to the metal.
Oh, it's not. No.
Okay, so therefore the metal version is not compatible.
That is not compatible. I was told that I could swap these pieces out and we'd have no problem. Now, do you have a picture of the plastic one? I mean, I can send this back to you and get the plastic one, but maybe, Rich, it'd be best if I just took a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
I can send you.
I'd love to see them.
Okay, I've got 3 or 4 pictures, Rich, and I'll send them to you, and you'll see, oh, gee, now I know what the guy's talking about, because I don't know the fancy.
I do. No.
You
got
you
it.
know it all.
First of all, if a plastic unit lasted for 3.5 decades.
Yeah, I should probably go to plastic again.
Yeah.
I'll go to plastic. That's not a problem. I mean, I had half a dozen keys made just because. They said, oh, I know it's going to be perfect. I'll eat that, I guess. I'll just send those keys back with you with the box. But unless you can swap out
I wouldn't have any need for the keys, but...
well, the next person will have the keys, Rich. so no problem.
Yeah, well, what we could probably do is, if I can rekey the new cylinder, I'll do that for you and send it back to the keys that you had cut.
Okay, that'd be perfect. So, whatever the key is that's going to the present tumbler system is what I've had made. So I guess you can pop the guts out and put them on something else. I would assume that's not a permanent piece in there. I don't know.
I can conjure that magic.
Okay. Anyway, so I'll send these pictures off to you as best possible, and you can see exactly, because I took a number of different angles, and I said, oh, gee, I'm an hour and 20 minutes away from the boat. See, that's my other problem. I bought this boat, and I'm back and forth to it. I'm here to work on it today. All of a sudden, it's stinking, starting to rain on me, so that messes me up. But I said, in the meantime, let me get this lock assembly on. I've got expensive gear in the boat, but it's out of the water. It's safe. I don't anticipate anybody jumping on the boat and stealing anything. But I'll put part of the guts of the old one back in again and make it look like there's still a lock assembly. You just close the door. That's it. But in the meantime, I'll get back to you. I'll probably get you later today and send these pictures and such to you. And anything you can do for me, I'd appreciate it. That'd be wonderful.
Oh, yeah. When it's all said and done, you're going to have a properly locking door.
I hope so. Well, thank you, Rich, for calling back. That's a big thing for me. I mean, no one ever calls anybody back today. You're probably aware of that as well. But
yeah, unfortunately,
it's a tough world we live in.
Well, all right, sir. Well, thank you very much. I'll watch for your email.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Okay, so I've reviewed the template of metal, the 4190 series and the 40 series. Their templating is identical. So what I'm wondering, based on your photograph, are you aware of the fact that the plastic model is installed with its cylinder towards the floor? And
yes, that's correct. That's what I took out previously, yeah.
And the metal version is installed with its cylinder near the top of the door.
Okay, I was not aware of that until I started monkeying with it. But even if that be the case, the clearance on the guts, whatever we want to call that device that locks into the other side of the door, it was, let's see, one side it was hitting, I couldn't get it in. And this side here, I don't know how it's going to work because I don't know how what it connects to. I don't know how to explain it. So I've got now if that be the case, then you would have I'm looking at the whole configuration. Both of the bottoms theoretically looks like it would fit perfectly in the door. That's what I'm looking at right now. But I don't know what opens and closes the door. Let's see now. I tend to think that
to me is that when you sent me the photographs, you have the
I know I had one upside down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was a mistake I made on my end because I was under the impression that both cylinders had to be at the bottom. That was my challenge. I didn't realize that you had one that was on top. It doesn't say anything, although the picture does show it to be on top. It does show that the claw, if you will, whichever the guts is coming up from the bottom to catch the door. I can retry it again because I don't know when I'm going to be back on the boat. It might be another week, 2 weeks, because we're getting a lot of rain coming in here. as I put them together upside down the way I'm thinking, not thinking the way it used to be because there was no clearance before, it might just work. But I was said, oh no, I'm dead set against the lock being on the top because it's got to be on the bottom because that's the way I thought it was supposed to be. My fault.
Yeah. So I'm convinced that when you try it again and install it according to the paperwork that's in the box and the published documentation, it's going to go in
like butter. It's going to go in like butter.
Like butter. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Well, I'll give it another shot. I mean, I went out. I said, "Oh, the girl was so nice. I guess her name was Jessica or something on the phone. She was a sweetheart. She helped me out tremendously. Understood where my stupidity was trying to get this thing. And I said, oh, gee whiz. I mean, if I can get a brand new one metal, I'd rather go metal. I agree. If the thing lasted 35 years, like you said, so gosh darn it, let me just go with a plastic one. Let me try it again. And we'll see what happens, and I'll call you back. Either way, I'll give you a call back. So either you made my day, or we have to do something differently. But I thanks for following up.
When do you think you'll be there? I should check with you next week.
Well, give me a call next week because I know I'm in Connecticut. The boat's in Rhode Island. It looks like all next week's going to be rain, and I'm looking for it. It's an hour and 20 minutes away from my house to get to work on the boat because I'm buying the boat in April. And I want to get this lock thing done, put together in the meantime, because where I'm going to be taking the boat in the middle of April down to Old Saybrook, I just want to make sure I've got a lock on the door. Let's put it that way. But we really don't have any problem with boat owners. No one steals anything for the most part, but this boat's out of the water, no covers on the boat. And yesterday was nice out. I said, let me attack this lock thing. And I wish I had your understanding right away saying, hey, the lock mechanism, the tumbler, if you will, has to be on the top, not the bottom. And that's what really messed my head up. Oh, it's got to be the same thing. And I said, this isn't going to work. Now, if the tumbler's on the top, I don't care, top or bottom, as long as the lock works.
Right.
So, yeah, let me give it another shot, and I'll give you a call whenever I get up there again, and we'll see how it works.
I'll check in with you at the end of next week.
Sounds great. Thank you, Rich. If you don't get me, just leave a voicemail, please.
Oh, of course. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
But hey, I just wanted to call you to thank you for your help.
Okay, and what happened?
Well, it works. The lock assembly went in the way it's upside down of what the original one was. That's what screwed me all up mentally.
Yeah,
and you said, oh, it ought to fit, but it doesn't, but it didn't, but now it does because I have it. The tumbler now is on the top where you put the key in. So that's okay. Everything works. I lubricated it with WD-40. We're in good shape.
Yeah, the die-cast ones have the cylinder at the top. The plastic ones have the cylinder at the bottom. Awesome. I'm glad you got it to work. Happy boating.
I got it going, and I'm so thankful to you for helping me with that.
I look forward to earning that, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, you have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's wrap up this video. Well, what happened was, after the client called, in the initial conversation, I was genuinely not convinced that the preparations were the same. I believed that they were because it would just make sense from a manufacturing standpoint. And what I did next was I went to the Rite catalog and I pulled up the catalog and went to the 4190 and then looked at the catalog for the 4430 series, and here they are. This is just right out of the catalog. First thing I did was I basically went right here and said, okay, is this all the same? And it is the answer. The width of the prep, 1 5/64, the height of the prep. Most importantly, most importantly was this dimension. The location of this hole to the top of the prep. Because that's the reference point. Because the 4190 series and the 4430 series uses the same MS1847 series hook bolt in the edge. So this is when I knew it was the same. Then it was a head scratcher for a second, and I went back to what the client provided in terms of images, and this is when it just became obvious. Okay, when I looked at this, I said, well, he's got it laid out wrong, because I know the lock body is in the same place on both, but I know that where the trim connects to the lock body is at the other end. And when I looked at his photographs, what was tipping me off was, well, that's not how they go. They're not at the same end. Plus, the little tab that connects over the wall thickness of the material is at the top. Well, this is the top here, and that's the top here. And I went through the rest of the images, and I became convinced it was just a matter of the fact that the clients, I'm not sure why I have the same photograph so many times. I was just convinced, oh, here they are, sorry. You know, I'm seeing all this sorted that way. And as what you heard, the client obviously flipped it all around per the original suggestion, and he is now as right as rain, and happily so. So lesson learned, you do not require a different prep from the metal or the zinc die cast sliding door locks versus the plastic, molded plastic 4430 series. Any questions on anything Adams Rite related, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.